I'm Ian Rush and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello and welcome to the Daily News Show. I'm back. I'm fucking tired. I'm with Aubrey. Aubrey, thank you very much for the amazing job that you've done over the last week. We're back to talk about Liverpool Football Club. We're going to get straight into it. Loris Karius has undergone surgery. It's successful. Thank fuck. He took a little bit of heat in the match reaction for...
saying Mignolet was a fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still stand by it. I think he could have done better. I thought it was a very typical Mignolet moment in that he does all right for the first save and you give him credit for that and then he instantly washes the credit away by just standing there and not... What do you think, actually?
I think it was as much Wisdom's fault as it was the keeper's.
Yeah, I agree with that. But
I wouldn't have titled the video
Mignolet mistake.
Yeah, basically. I think that's a little bit harsh. I think you're pushing for views.
I've got editorial mandates that were written on several whiteboards that said, don't forget, lads, push for views or your jobs are at stake. So we were worried. So, no, the reason why I kind of absolved Wisdom from it is Wisdom's not going to play. Touch wood, no injuries happen. So we kind of know what we know about Wisdom, whereas Mignolet's going to play. So I was more focused on him than Andre Wisdom. You know, Andre Wisdom and Kevin Stewart as a centre-back partnership doesn't get much football for us this season, hopefully. Whereas Mignolet in goal, we know for at least 10 weeks he's going to be there.
Can you put anything as to Mignolet's decision-making on the centre-backs that are in front of him?
Of course you can. It all affects everyone. Football's fluid. It's a team game. It's not an individual game, is it? So
him not knowing what Stewart or Wisdom are going to do affects his decision-making, absolves him of blame, potentially?
Not absolves him. I wouldn't go as far as to absolve him. Look, ultimately, if they'd have scored from the first instant, and he'd have stood on his line and not done anything, yeah, I'd be like, okay, maybe that's because he doesn't know what the centre-backs are going to do. He's not used to playing with those centre-backs, etc. Whereas he actually does the hard work, he makes the save, and then just fucking turns off, which, I don't know, maybe I'm just bored of him, and I'm possibly a little bit angry that Karius is injured, but how many times have we seen him turn off and not follow through with, like, doing what a goalkeeper should do? You know, he should do something, even if he doesn't save it.
I suppose the thing is,
I
suppose the thing with Mignolet is everybody's pissed off with him. Yeah. Everybody has been for a year now, and it kind of bringing it back onto Karius. This is why it's so important that he's undergone a successful operation. We're talking 8 to 10 weeks. The poor guy has basically said, I'm not going to go and play in the Olympics for my country to try and win this #1, and suffers an injury. It's so Liverpool, it's untrue. Yeah. In fact, the only way it could be more Liverpool if he dropped the iron on his foot. Yeah. Like, was it Stensgaard in the early 90s or something did that? Yeah. And you're like, well, that keeper dropping an iron on your foot.
He was the Spanish keeper, I can't remember who it was, but he dropped aftershave in the hotel room before a World Cup match and decided, oh, I know, I'll save my expensive bottle of aftershave by doing keepy-ups with it, and it shattered and broke his foot and put all glass in it. That would have been so... To make this even more a typical situation... I
suppose the bottom line is, Aubrey, we're desperate for Karius to work out.
Definitely. We are. We've bought a keeper. We've bought the second best keeper in the Bundesliga last year, voted for by his fellow professionals. As I've said in a few videos when we've talked about this, Manuel Neuer is in that league. That's fucking good going. That's like being the best winger in a league where Suarez and Joe Messi, second best or third best, voted by professionals, isn't it, Joe? It's good. He's a very good keeper, Neuer. So Karius, he's looked good. He's come in, he's done all right, and then he goes and gets injured. And as I think it was on the sub show this week, we talked about it. Retiring and saying I'm Olympian to your grandkids means something. So for him to actually turn around and go, oh, because he's never going to go Olympics again because the way the age for Olympic squads are, this was his time to go to an Olympics, and that actually would mean something as a sportsman, as a professional, to be able to turn around and say, you know what, I was an Olympian. It's a very esteemed group of people, very small group of people who can actually say that, and he's turned that down because he was like, no, I'm going to come here and be #1 because you've asked me to be #1, and you go, wow, brilliant. He's saying all the right things. He looks like a charming, good-looking, charismatic man. He's played all right in goal.
I didn't get it at first, having seen him up close.
Having been very, very close to him on the pitch, yeah.
He's a very good-looking bloke.
You felt it, did you?
I felt it.
Did it move?
No.
Oh. But
never moves.
It's dead. But
that's what having kids does to you.
But yeah, and then he goes and turns down going to the Olympics and then gets injured. But look, the operation's okay. That's the first. the first start. It's just a shame that it's in his fucking hand and he's a goalkeeper. Like every other position, couldn't we swap some of the injuries around? Like fucking Sacco going into his hand, he can play with a broken hand, and I suppose Karius couldn't play with an Achilles. Like,
well, look, we'll move on to the other end of the pitch. We've got Daniel Sturridge just come out and shut his mouth last night, basically, and he said, and I'll quote, "I want this to be the season where not just myself but the team can be successful. The main aim is to win trophies with Liverpool. That's all I've wanted to do since I've been here. We've been so close to winning the Premier League, so close to winning 2 finals, but this is the year when we have to try to win that trophy, and that's the main aim. We are ambitious as players to do that." The question, of course, is whether, and this is the article now, is whether Sturridge body can hold out for a full campaign. If it does, then the Reds will feel this team really does have a chance of silverware, given the goals that he would guarantee. Do you agree with that statement?
Completely. I've said it a couple of times that, unfortunately, he's missed one out there, as he got close to 2 finals last season. He choked against Villa as well. That was
a semi, though, wasn't it?
A semi, but you know what I mean? Like, there's been times that we were getting a reputation as being chokers. We were getting a reputation as being players who, a group of players who just couldn't get it over the finish line. You know, we come so close and it really hurt, and I can understand the psychological effect on Brendan Rodgers and also that squad, and then losing not only the best player, but the best player in the league will have that effect. But then you go to a semi-final against an inferior team, against a fraud of a manager, who then goes and gets sacked and and that team gets relegated the next year and just not given any fight. And then, you know, last season, more fight. First half against Sevilla, I've recently looked back at that, and we actually played really well the first half. You forget about the amount of chances that they created, but the second half, they just didn't turn up. You know, the Man City game, the final went to penalties, so they were close, but you need to win one. We talk about it an awful lot. You've got to get that first bit of silverware. Klopp's got to get that first bit of silverware. But actually, a lot of players in this squad, most of them, I'd say pretty all of them, haven't got anything for Liverpool. Now that a lot of the senior ones have left, definitely, there's some in there who've never won anything. And that first,
there's a lot.
That first piece, that first whatever it is, that first win chalked under your belt. We talk about Man City won the FA Cup first under Mancini, and it set them up onto that. Now, hopefully, obviously, in that one, he says, we have to try and win that trophy. He's talking specifically about the Premier League. This is an odd season. You know, a lot of the big teams have replaced managers. Our manager's got a head start, a running start on all of them. I want us to be in contention. We've got no distractions of Europe. With the players that we've got, the quality that we have got, if everyone's fit, and with the quality of the manager, that he's already shown how good he can turn a team into.
How do you feel that the pre-season... What Liverpool can we expect looking at the pre-season games?
I think we can expect a more dynamic Liverpool than we had than the whole of last year. I think we're going to be very similar to how we were at the end of last year. But I think when Liverpool were good, so Villarreal at home, Dortmund away, Dortmund at home, which was that's actually an anomaly, isn't it? Because we were good and bad in that game. Man City away, Man City at home, which is the infamous boom football. You know, those performances.
Wait, I'll tell you what, then here's a question for you. Pick one that epitomises Klopp's football.
I think we're going to see 2. And we've seen 2 formations. We've seen 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1, haven't we? I think there'll be away football.
But pick one game that epitomises what we're going to be like under Klopp.
Man City at home.
The 3-0.
Yeah. I think that we're boom football. I think that's what Joe go out. There's elements of the Rodgers. Go out and get the game done early. Go out and hit teams with a lot of attack and get the goals, and then, but high pressing, winning the ball back in their half, turning the ball around, recycling the ball really, really well, and hopefully taking chances.
So what does Daniel Sturridge? How does Sturridge fit into that?
I don't think he does. That's my thing of that. I think Origi is our first choice striker. That's just my opinion.
Interesting. But, you know, Daniel Sturridge probably does guarantee 1 in 2. Final piece of news for the day then is Julian Draxler. Reported a Liverpool target. Draxler has confirmed publicly he wants to leave Wolfsburg. Do you think we're in for him?
I think the papers want us to believe we're in for him, and clickbait do. I'd love us to be in for him because he's a fantastic footballer. He's very, very talented. He's the type of player that would basically make me go from rating this transfer window as like a 7 to a 10 Because I think all the work, all the hard work that we've done is like, yeah, brilliant, we've got good players in, but there's nothing that massively excites me. That type of player would be like, yeah, there's a man that he's going to go out and make you... I might even buy a Toxic Thunder shirt
just to put
with Draxler on the back, and anyone who's watched that video sees how much I like that Toxic Thunder kit. But, you know, he's a name, isn't he? He's someone who would... And at the age he is, he's only 22, he's already played 24 times for Germany. That's a fucking tough squad to break into. He's potentially world-class, he's a very good player. I hope that we're in contention, but it's probably not right.
Do you think Arsenal will get him?
I don't know.
Do you think we're in for an attacking midfielder?
We shouldn't. We probably shouldn't be, but yeah. If it's of that quality of Draxler, why not?
At the expense of a left-back?
Yeah, I'm mad. I'd rather be reporting on a 4-3 than a 1-0.
Here's a question for you, because this is something that I think it's gathering a little bit of weight with Liverpool fans now. Do you think there's any options of us playing 3 at the back this season?
I personally, no, because we've not seen it. We'd have seen it at least once in pre-season. I know there's 2 pre-season games left.
But it's essentially one, isn't it, for each of the players?
Yeah. So no, I don't. Has he ever played it at the back?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think he did it with us at all last season, and I don't think he's ever used it. Who knows? It's definitely where football's going. Conte played it with Italy in the European Championships. Pep Guardiola, who seems to be the guy who does it, and everyone follows that trend.
Conte did it at Juventus 2010, 2011, so well before Guardiola.
Yeah, and Guardiola's been playing it with City in pre-season, so they're going to be playing 3 at the back this season. Maybe. Who knows?
Okay. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us. I've enjoyed that, actually. That was a nice little news show to get back into. I kind of hope we've got some actual transfers to talk about. And for me personally, I hope it's a left-back that we're talking about, because having watched Albi Moreno again in pre-season, not good enough, I'm afraid, mate. Aubrey, thanks very much for joining me. Tom, Si, thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed to Redmen TV, do it now.